If you've ever been curious enough to explore the deep web, you need to understand something first. Some links aren't just hidden, they're buried for a reason. And the worst part, you don't always find them. Sometimes, they find you. These are 3 of the most disturbing, real deep web stories that people wish they could forget, but never could. The first story starts the same way most of them do, with curiosity. A college student, he never shared his real name, posted on a forum about how he'd been casually browsing the deep web for weeks. Nothing extreme, just hidden marketplaces, weird forums, the usual stuff people think is edgy until they realize how real it gets. One night, though, he found a link that didn't belong. No title, no description, just a string of random characters and a single comment under it. "Don't open this alone." He clicked it anyway. At first it looked broken, just a black screen, no sound, no movement. Then, a timer appeared in the corner, counting down from 10 minutes. He thought it was some kind of joke, until the video flickered on. It was a room, dimly lit, concrete walls, no windows, and in the center, a chair. Empty. For almost a full minute, nothing happened. Just that chair, and the timer ticking down. Then the door opened. Someone walked in, dragging something. He couldn't make out details clearly, but he described it as human-shaped. That's when he tried to close the page, but it wouldn't close. Every time he clicked out, the video snapped back. Full screen. The timer kept going. 8 minutes. 7 minutes. The figure in the video strapped whatever it brought into the chair, and then it looked directly at the camera. Not just toward it, directly into it, like it knew someone was watching. That's when the student noticed something that made his stomach drop. At the bottom of the screen, new text appeared. An IP address. His IP address, followed by a message. "Stay." He panicked, shut down his laptop completely, unplugged everything. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, he convinced himself it was just some elaborate scare tactic. A prank. Something meant to mess with people who didn't know any better. Until he turned his laptop back on. The video resumed instantly. Same room, same chair, but now, the chair wasn't empty anymore. And the timer, it reset. The second story is harder to verify, but it's been shared, deleted, and reshared so many times that pieces of it still exist. It came from a user who claimed to be a moderator on a private deep web forum. According to him, there was a hidden section of the site that only appeared after weeks of activity. You couldn't search for it. You couldn't link to it directly, it just showed up. One day, he logged in and saw a new category he'd never seen before. No title, just a symbol. When he clicked it, there was only one thread. And inside that thread, a live stream. No chat, no usernames, just viewers, hundreds of them. The stream showed a hallway, narrow, yellowish lighting, almost like an old hospital. At the end of the hallway, a door, closed. Nothing happened for a long time. People joined, people left, but the viewer count kept growing. Then, the door opened, slowly. Inside was a room filled with objects, not random objects, personal ones, shoes, phones, backpacks, toys, all laid out neatly, almost like evidence. That's when the moderator noticed something strange. People in the forum, viewers, started reacting. Not typing, but reacting. Their usernames began disappearing, one by one, and every time a username vanished, a new object appeared in the room. A jacket, a watch, a pair of glasses, all different, all personal. The moderator tried to shut the stream down. He couldn't, tried to delete the thread. It wouldn't go away. Then a message appeared at the top of the page. "You're part of it now." He logged out immediately, and according to his final post, he never got back in, not because he didn't want to, but because his account no longer existed. And neither did the forum. The third story is the one that people argue about the most, because the person who shared it never came back to explain it. It was posted as a series of updates by someone who claimed they found a service on the deep web. Not illegal, not violent, just strange. It was called something like perspective shift. The idea was simple. You pay and you get access to a live camera feed, but not just any camera. The listing claimed see through someone else's eyes. Most people assumed it was fake, pre-recorded footage, maybe VR. But the poster said it felt different, real, too real. He described logging in and suddenly being somewhere else. Not physically, obviously, but visually. He wasn't looking at a screen anymore. He was inside someone's perspective, walking through a house, breathing, blinking. He could even hear subtle sounds like fabric moving when the person walked. At first, he thought it was incredible, until he realized he couldn't control anything. He was just watching from inside. The person whose perspective he was seeing moved through a dim house, quiet, slow, like they didn't want to be heard. They walked into a bedroom and stood there, watching someone sleep. That's when the poster started to panic. He tried to exit, nothing happened. The view just stayed locked. The person he was seeing through took a step closer to the bed, then another, and another. The breathing got heavier. The poster said he was screaming at his screen, trying to disconnect. Then, the person in the bed moved, just slightly, like they felt something. And in that moment, the camera, the eyes he was seeing through, slowly turned toward a mirror in the room. And for a split second, he saw the face. It wasn't a stranger. It was him. He never posted again after that. No follow-ups, no explanations. No, it was fake, or it was a prank. Just silence. And people started digging, trying to find the site, trying to recreate the link, trying to prove it wasn't real, but every version they found was incomplete. Broken pages, dead ends, fragments of code that didn't lead anywhere, except for one detail that kept showing up, over and over again. A single line buried deep in the page source. Connection established. The thing about the deep web is, people assume the danger comes from what you see, but sometimes it's about what sees you back. So if you ever find a link that feels off, a page that won't close, or something that seems a little too real, just ask yourself one question. Is it worth knowing who's on the other side? And honestly, what would you have done in that last story? Would you have stayed just a few seconds longer to understand it? Or would you have shut it off immediately? Let me know down in the comments. If you want more stories like this, the kind that stick in your head at 3 a.m., make sure you subscribe, because the deeper we go, the worse they get.